Where is everybody? Man, I haven't been in this kitchen in a while. Still in one piece, and you know what? I'm hungry. I think I'm gonna make a delicious tofu dish. Cooking with the vegan zombie. So when I was a kid, one of my favorite foods was like chicken and this like broccoli and cheesy rice dish. I'm gonna replicate that for you guys tonight. I started with cutting up a brick of tofu after pressing it. I got little cubes like that. And then I'm marinating it in 2.5 cups of homemade veggie stock, which we have a video for if you ever want to check it out. Along with a half of an onion that I chopped up into, large dice. 6 cloves of garlic that I smashed, and I just let it soak overnight. I had a little bit of olive oil in there, and a tiny bit of rice wine vinegar, probably like 2 or 3 teaspoons. So it's been 24 hours. If you can do this, marinate it for an hour or overnight, it would be fine. The more you let it marinate, the more deliciouser it's gonna be. Deliciouser. Right now I'm gonna strain the old tofu because I wanna use this marinade to cook my rice with. The only thing I'm gonna pick out of here are the big chunks of the gar because nobody wants a big chunk of gar up in their mouth. Garlic. I'm gonna pour this into a medium saucepan. We're gonna put it on high, bring it to a boil. I'm gonna add some stuff to it right now. We're gonna make yellow rice tonight to give it that sort of cheesy look. So we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of turmeric, and then 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, a pinch of black pepper. We'll whisk that together. Once it comes up to a boil, we're gonna add the rice. We're gonna go ahead and add the tofu to my weapon / saute pan. It's a non-stick. Don't hate. What I'm gonna do is get some color on it, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more tis the seasoning, to really get some good chickeny flavor that I try to get in this tofu. I'm gonna use my trusty cut above cutlery knife here to cut up this head of broccoli. If you guys want a knife like this, which you should get one because it's an amazing tool to have in the kitchen, check out the link below. You can enter a special coupon code and save some money. So I'm gonna cut this broccoli into small little florets. We're gonna blanch it in boiling water and then shock it in some cold water because you don't wanna overcook that broccoli. It's gonna get real gushy and I don't wanna do that. So I just wanna brighten it up, kind of par cook it, and then we're gonna add it in at the end. Probably that, I'm gonna go with that. Little bite-sized pieces. I got a whole thing of boiling water over here that I'm gonna blanch the broccoli with, but my rice water is ready to go. So I'm gonna add 1 cup of jasmine rice, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, whisk it, then we're gonna cover it and bring it to a boil. Once you see those bubbles a frothing and a foaming, you're gonna turn it down to a simmer and simmer it until you see the liquid go all the way down. There's a lot of little holes in the ice. I'll show you in a minute. We're gonna take my broccoli and we're gonna toss it in that boiling water for about 20 seconds, maybe 30. This recipe is so easy. You really could get away with not even marinating the tofu because the spices that you throw on the end are enough to make the dish. But if you really want to wow your zombie friends, marinate this overnight. All right, so we got our... What was that? I probably should have done a zombie sweep. Nah. Strain it. Make sure you spill hot boiling water all over your feet. Don't do that. We're gonna shock it in some ice water just to stop the cooking process. Done. Consider it shocked. Now's when I'm gonna add all that flavor I was telling you about. I'm talking rubbed sage. We're gonna do about a half a teaspoon of that. I'm talking rosemary. A full teaspoon of that. Celery seed. This is what puts it over the top for me is the celery seed. Be careful with it. It's potent. So I'm gonna do a half a teaspoon of that. Garlic powder, of course, because that's me. Gotta keep those vampires away. Half a teaspoon of salt. Pinch of that pepper. Toss it. Leave it. Pull up quick to retrieve it. We're gonna make a little bit of cheese sauce. We're gonna do 3/4 of a cup of cashews. Half a cup of nutritional yeast. Yeah. I don't have time to measure these days. I'm just guessing. Sometimes you gotta wing it. We're gonna add turmeric to this. Half a teaspoon. Yeah. Salt from the sea. 1/4 teaspoon. I'm gonna go with a tiny bit of rice vinegar. A teaspoon. For a little zing, a little pep. 1/4 teaspoon of the mustard powder. Yep. Get in there. Let me show you what the rice is looking like. Those holes I was telling you about. Those are little steam vents. That's what's cooking the rice, you guys. Science, yes, science. Stir it up. We're gonna add that broccoli that I was talking about. You know that broccoli? Throw that in. Stir that. Let's cover it back up. We've got all this stuff in here in this blend tech. And we're gonna add a little bit of water. Probably do like 2 tablespoons at a time. I switched over to the twister jar by Blendtec because it's a lot easier to make sauces with, and especially this cheese sauce because it's a nice thick, look at that. So what I'm gonna do is put half of it in here. Oh yeah, that's cheesy. I'll mix it all together. Now for extra cheesiness, you can add the whole thing. I like to keep this in my fridge. Use it as a dip for some pita bread or some chips, or just pour it all over my face. Oh man, look at that gooey cheesiness. That's a John portion, I would say. Get some of that tofu, or all of it. Oh man, this is it, you guys. So what I like to do when I'm eating this, you grab a chunk, you gotta get that broccoli, you gotta get that rice, and you gotta get 2 pieces of tofu, and then a mouthful of happiness. Either one of these is good on its own, so if you're not a fan of broccoli or rice, you're crazy. But you can just make the tofu, maybe put a little gravy on top, but oh my gosh, it's so good. I love the spices that we use in this. That celery salt though, you know? It just comes over the top and lets you know, hey man, I'm here for you. Well, you guys, that's it. I hope you like this recipe, and if you try it at home, make sure you let us know in the comments. I wonder where Chris is. I trekked all the way out here to the safe house, and he's gone. Well, anyway, you guys know the routine. Subscribe. What's this? John had to run, went out west. Watch out for zombies. P.S. Look up. We're gonna make yellow rice. Kind of give it that cheesy look.
Do you hear him? That's a zombie in the background. Indy. Okay.
Oh. Hot. I always find that tofu tastes a lot better when you rub it on the floor for about 20 seconds. Try it. The 5-second rule still pertains in the zombie apocalypse.